Can you see me? Can you hear me? Probably not, because YouTube is gay, and that is hate speech in Canada. And I don't care a whole hell of a lot about Canada this morning, which I will tell you about shortly. No, nobody can hear me. No 5x5 in the chat. And it's going to reset here momentarily. There it goes. There it resets. Thanks, YouTube. Man, you're the best. Kimberly Dickey, Nurse Doc, good morning. Thumbs up. 5x5, Derpy for the win. Jupiter Mojo, Josephus. Good morning, everybody. My name is Bear from the internet. You may know me from the YouTubes, from the Instagrams, from the Facebooks, from the bearindependent.com, which is where all the cool links are at, aggregated there for you. We're going to do the brief today. It is We All Gonna Die Wednesday, and I'll be honest with you, today might be the day for me. Today could be the Wednesday in which I shuffle off this mortal coil, but not without a friggin' fight. Listen, 40% of y'all are not subscribed to the show. You just watch for the giggles. Please grow up. Please subscribe, ring the little bell icon, do all that stuff. Those people who are subscribed to the show, please share it with somebody you love, because the YouTube algorithmic robots hate our guts. Proof of which, go back and look at all the live streams I've done over the last 6 months. You don't have to watch them all. Just look at the view count. There's 202,000 plus people here. I'm capped at 19,000 views, because y'all forbid somebody should speak truth with some kind of authority on a platform run by the CIA. Oops, I said the quiet part out loud. Now, the show is brought to you by the creator of the universe, Yahuwah our Elohim, the Lord our God. Thank you for letting us wake up this morning, Dad. We probably don't deserve it. It's brought to you by the fine people over at Patreon, link in the description, and it's brought to you by Refuge Medical, which is the company I had the audacity to found in my barn 4 years ago with $1,000 of seed capital, which is now on 4 continents, which is now, as of 48 hours or so ago, being explicitly targeted by Shopify. And we're going to talk about that briefly here this morning before we get into the written brief. Now, when I say targeted, what do I mean? What I mean is Shopify's trust and safety team has informed us here at Refuge Medical that we, not anybody, not everybody, we are no longer allowed to sell hemostatic products, because those hemostatic products, they have determined, are for internal use and require a prescription to acquire. We must delete all of our hemostatic listings, or basically find a new payment processor. Just us, not the dozens of other people who use Shopify, many of whom I'm friends with in this industry, and I will be calling this afternoon. Not anybody else, just Refuge Medical. Now, never mind the fact that I have provided documentation from the FDA, Food and Drug Administration of the United States of America, packaging, for example, combat gauze. It says for external use only. And specifically, they have an issue with the Olay's hemostatic bandage. Bandages for internal use, huh? You must be a special kind of idiot. It's a bandage. It goes on the outside because it's a bandage. Also approved by the FDA for external use. Also in a document in 2018 from the FDA and Z-Medica, clearly stating that it can be acquired, QuickLot specifically, can be acquired with a prescription, but does not require a prescription. Now, I will reiterate, only Refuge Medical is no longer allowed to sell these things, not anybody else. So, Shopify, let's play nice, or I'm going to sue you for $1 billion for discriminating against a minority-owned business, because I'm Cherokee, Choctaw, and Creek. And also my wife, who's a female, part owner in the company. So you're discriminating against a female. And I have in your own written documentation, this applies only to us because we came up for an air quote random review. Sounds like somebody somewhere didn't like some shit I said on the internet. And instead of having a pair of balls and talking to us like a man, they're just going to take away our ability to create a livelihood. So I'll see you in court. In the meanwhile, refugemedical.com. Promo code is Bear Nation for free shipping. If you want hemostatic agents from us, I recommend you get them freaking today, because I might not have a website at the end of the day. Do the things. Now, Bear Independent Brief, 5 June 2024. Oh, and I've got all the receipts. I've got all the emails. I've got the phone calls. I've got all of it. I've got all the documentation. I'm fine if you want to go down this road. I'm terrible with ultimatums, and I'm terrible at being backed into a corner. I was just telling the analyst over here, I will take 100 to 1 odds if you back me in a corner. And I don't care if you win or not, but at least a half a dozen of you are going to have chiseled into your headstones mauled by a bear. I'm bad at it. So I will sue you for $1 billion for discrimination, and I will use that $1 billion to fully fund Caleb House and Grindstone, and then I will disappear into the ether and you'll never see me again. And I'm cool with that. I'm fine with it. Bear Independent Brief, 5 June 2024. President * Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. just signed an executive order on Tuesday that will temporarily close down asylum requests at the U.S.-Mexico border. The executive order details that when the average daily encounters exceed $2,500 at 2,500 persons at ports of entry, then the shutdown is triggered. So we can allow 2,500 people per day in, but not 2,501. By the way, extrapolate that data. That's about 1 million people per year. Well, that's already the case, so the shutdown was put into effect immediately. The border will reopen if the number reduces to 1,500 daily encounters for 2 weeks at official ports of entry. One Biden administration official told reporters, quote, "The administration is taking decisive action designed to strengthen the security of our southern border and reduce unlawful migration by suspending the entry of individuals across the southern border," end quote. Bear, it's not June. It will always be the month of goon. Big Cheese, you're correct. And we're fixing a goon out super hard on those that don't like what we have to say on the internet. Because believe it or not, I realize this, many people, especially you young people, have never even been taught what freedom of speech actually means. What it actually means. It means the most vulgar, hateful, racist, abominable language is still protected. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with it. But everybody has the right to speak exactly what they believe. Exactly. Uncensored, unmitigated. You have the right to say exactly what you believe, especially in the court of public opinion here on these air quotes social media platforms. Are they a platform or a publisher? I don't know. Section 230, blah, 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 blah. You have the right to say exactly what you want to say, even if it's disgusting and ignorant. You don't have the right to make me agree with you. You don't have the right to force me to acquiesce to your opinion, but you do have the right, God-given, constitutionally protected, to say whatever you want to say. And in fact, I wish we would return to that, because the unmitigated assholes will be obvious. Cool. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to listen to them. They can go over there, stand in the corner by themselves and plot. But when we say here in America, we are supposed to have freedom of speech, it means literally every possible sound that could come out of your face is legal and ethical per the U.S. Constitution. We don't have that here in the United States of America anymore. We haven't had that for a long time. And the policing of speech on these platforms is one of the reasons I think these platforms have been allowed to gain the popularity and universal adoption that they have, encouraged to gain the universal popularity and adoption that they have. Peter Carlson, $30. Thank you. Well, or 30 Korean bucks. I think that's $4, but I appreciate you nonetheless. And children, especially those indoctrinated by the public school system, are not taught this at all. They think freedom of speech asterisk, or they've had their thoughts and their speech so heavily curtailed by the system that they don't even want to think things that are unpopular now because of upvotes and downvotes and likes and hearts on posts. They only want to say popular things. And who decides what the popular thing to say is? These asshole celebrities that have been artificially elevated to some type of status inside of our air quote society that drive the narrative, that say and do the stupid things that influence influencers, all the other people to fall in line to say and do the stupid things too. Freedom is dangerous. It's supposed to be dangerous. Why do you think the government is so concerned about folks like us? Because we're supposed to be dangerous. See the Second Amendment. We should be able to say every single thing that we think and believe. We should be able to maintain a comfortable distance from tyranny. And if that tyranny gets too close, pop it in the nose. Oh, well, that's domestic terrorism. According to what? Unelected bureaucrats in the deep state? Alphabet soup agencies? That's constitutional. Iridium Group, bless you, bro. Thank you. I actually need to get on the phone with you later today since you're a Canadian and Shopify is in Canada, and since you know a thing or two about hemostatics. I'll text you here in a little bit. Back to the freaking brief. The night before, at the border in Jacumba, California, one Fox News reporter was on site to witness a flood of migrants walking past the Mexican military through a gap in the wall into the United States. He noted that the people crossing greatly outnumbered Border Patrol agents, so much so that the migrants were asking the news crew, "Are we in America? Where's the Border Patrol at?" The journalist, air quote journalist, also noted that there were a lot of single adult males from African and Asian countries, to include Mauritania, a special interest country in Africa due to potential terrorism and national security concerns. Nothing to see here. Why? Why are these people, especially the military-age males, coming across the border? Most people will say that it's because the Democratic Party, who's currently in power in Washington, which elucidates their ignorance of the fact that the two parties are both wings of the same shitty bird. The system is not broken. The system operates exactly the way they want it to. It just benefits them, not you. The system needs to burn to the ground and be replaced, maybe, with something more closely approximating a constitutional republic. But I digress. Most people think that the reason these people are coming across the border is in order to redraw, per the census, where the electoral map lines land, so that the Democrats can get more votes, and they'll register all these people as Democratic voters. Yeah, that's probably part of it. But I think the primary reason they are here is they are a fail-safe for the Democratic Party, that come November, if things aren't going their way, or prior to November, if things aren't going their way, there will be chaos in the streets, and there will be migrants asymmetrically attacking through organized means American citizens on the streets of the United States of America to push a political agenda to keep the powers that be in power, because I think the pendulum has swung far enough in the other direction that if real Americans actually had a voice in this country, the powers that be would be swinging from the short end of a long rope at this point for crimes against humanity perpetrated under the COVID restrictions of 2019 and forward. But I might have just said the quiet part out loud again, which you're not allowed to do on this platform because we don't actually have freedom of speech in the United States anymore. To which they would respond, you can say whatever you want, but that doesn't guarantee that you should have an audience. The problem is they, the big they, decide whether or not you can have an audience. Again, see my earlier comment about 202,000 subscribers here, views capped at 19,000 views. Will not allow it to go past 19,000 views. And the problem with that is I've got the historical data to show. I've got live streams from 5 years ago, y'all, that have more views on them than today. Interesting. So these people coming across the southern border are not just to redraw the electoral map, not just to register new voters. They're a fail-safe for asymmetric action in the streets, my opinion. El Groucho says, I really enjoy your content. Well, El Groucho, I really enjoy your username. I feel like an El Groucho this morning. It's worth noting that the executive order only applies to unscheduled apprehensions and also does not apply to unaccompanied minors because they need those unaccompanied minors to be swept into the federal system to be put on trucks and trucked elsewhere to never to return again. Oh, I said another one of the quiet parts out loud. According to one official, the suspension and limitation on entry and the rule will not apply to individuals who use a safe and orderly process, such as CBP-1, which is a mobile application to enter the United States at a port of entry in an orderly manner, end quote. So as long as you've pre-registered your legal entry into the country via the Customs and Border Protection app, CBP-1, you may enter illegally, no questions asked, no problem. It's only the unscheduled encounters, those that didn't apply on the app. If those exceed 2,500 per day unscheduled entries, then we're going to shut the border down. Got a question for you. What do you think is happening with the digital exhaust on that CBP-1 app? Now they have a point of contact. They have a way to get a hold of every single one of these people's telephonic device, which is a seventh generation collection device, B, a propaganda platform. What else do you think is being sent to these phones? Hey, here's where you register for benefits. Hey, here's who you should vote for. Hey, here's the taxpayer-funded transportation that you should get on to be taken to one of these cities across America. I would love to know. Please, somebody in the audience, download CBP-1 and tell me. I don't want that shit on my phone, but somebody out there download it. I'd love to know. What happens after you check in? After you peaceably and orderly illegally enter the country. Oh, and who do you think developed that app? How do you think that app was paid for? Was it with taxpayer funding? That's my guess. Who pays for Customs and Border Protection? Oh, right, we do. We're being fleeced by these air quote politicians in DC to fund our own demise at every turn in every facet of our existence. I really think, I don't like this, but I really think it's going to get super spicy in between now and November because the scales have fallen off of enough people's eyes. Enough people have been red pilled. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get gross. Now you got Donald J. Trump saying, hey, reelect me and I'll declassify the 9/11 files, the Kennedy assassination, and what was the other one that he said? What was it? Was it COVID? Because I'll declassify all of it. Yes, sounds great. Yeah, perfect. Believe it. Declassify all of it. Full disclosure. Bro, people's heads are gonna roll. Or people's heads should roll. The question is there a critical mass of Americans, patriots in this country, that would do their patriotic duty and refresh the tree of liberty? Or are there enough normies out there that go, I know the CIA does bad stuff. I know the FBI did bad stuff, but it's fine. As if somehow a government that has a clear historical record of constantly operating outside of its boundaries, constantly operating outside of oversight, and constantly targeting its own citizens in the past, well, they've changed their ways. This is abusive wife syndrome. It's like, I know he hits me, but he loves me. It's okay. He's changed. It's going to be better this time. It's okay. We've got a new president now. It's going to be okay. He really loves me this time. I believe him. You get 2 black eyes and a broken wrist. And you've only been thrown down the steps 3 times this week, but it's okay because he loves you, because he said the right words. Complete and utter horseshit. This is why I don't like politics. I try and stay aware of politics, but I don't like politics, especially at the federal level, because I'm not thoroughly convinced that our participation in it even matters, especially based off the 2020 election cycle and Dominion voting machines. Oh, by the way, I'm probably going to get a channel strike for this today. Might get the channel taken down. Link to Patreon is in the description. Yeah, it's $10 a month, but it's way more than these briefs that we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Alternate channel is the Blue Collar President. The Blue Collar President. They'll probably pull that one too because I'm on fire this morning. Let's be honest. An administration official explained the impact this executive action is supposed to have, saying, quote, "We have seen consistently over the last few years that when we have the ability to remove individuals quickly, it can significantly impact migratory flows by changing the calculus for intending migrants, especially if they know that they're going to be removed quickly and not be able to remain in the United States for many years through their immigration court process." What a bunch of $50 bullshit. An administration official explained the impact of this executive action is supposed to have, saying, quote, "We have seen consistently over the last few years that when we have the ability to remove individuals quickly," oh, because you're tracking their location versus through that CBP1 app, probably, it can significantly impact migratory flows by changing the calculus for intending migrants. Dude, shut up with the Diplo speak.
It's like birds, like the migratory flow.
Yeah, like they're Canada geese, or prairie chickens. What that? No, they're people who hate our country and are here to do us harm. The migratory flow. No person is illegal. Shut up. Like, let's piss some more people off. I read the Bible, all of it, from the first page to the last page. There's this little chapter, you might have heard of it, called Exodus chapter 20. In it is a thing you'll find called the 10 Commands or the 10 Commandments, one of which is thou shalt not murder. And thanks to King Jimmy and a bunch of pussy pastors over the last 500 years, it's been understood to be thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill, brother. That's not what it says. It's thou shalt not murder. Because biblically, there's a whole bunch of people that get bodied in that blue book over and over and over again. Well, Jesus is love. My Messiah would never do that. So you didn't read Revelation 19. Got it. Or you depended upon somebody else to explain Revelation 19 to you. Because when he returns, his eyes are a flame of fire, and he has many crowns upon his head, and a name which no one knows but himself. And upon his thigh, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And a sword goes out of his mouth, and he bodies everyone, all of them that aren't on Team Yeshua, that don't follow the Messiah. So, biblically, I can't believe I'm saying the quiet part out loud again. Some people just need to get killed. And there are rules for who does and who doesn't. Murder is a heart condition. It's premeditated. Murder is I hate this person and therefore I'm going to take their life. Killing, unfortunately, is a facet of life that sometimes just needs to happen because some people cannot be reasoned with. Some people, if you keep them alive, they will kill you. And when you're in a deadly force-on-force encounter, the only way to solve that problem is to apply deadly force, stronger, better, faster, harder, than the bad guy, than the other. If they've already decided they're going to kill you, you don't reason your way out of it. Which is why biblically killing is okay, but murder is not. Now, don't be a moron and take this as me saying that Bear is saying we got to go kill a whole bunch of people. Nope, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is going to come a point where I don't think we're going to have any other option but that. It's going to get weird in between now and November. I would be as adequately prepared for the weirdness as possible. What was this Diplo speak moron saying? We have seen consistently over the last few years that when we have the ability to remove individuals quickly, it can significantly impact migratory flows by changing the calculus for intending migrants, especially if they know that they are going to be removed quickly and not be able to remain in the United States for many years through their immigration court process. they're going to be much less likely to pay the thousands of dollars that's required to the smuggling networks that more or less control access to the routes leading up to our border, end quote. Now, what about the women and children that are coming here? I'll be frank, I ain't happy about it. Comma, there's one Torah, one law, one instruction for the Israelite and the sojourner within their gates. Comma, forsake not the widow and orphan. Okay, tracking. But military-age males, or males in general, who hate the United States of America and are here to take taxpayer money out of my wallet and put it into their pocket so that they can undermine the success of the country that I live in and that I have to raise my children in, those guys, those are gray zone warfare combatants as far as I'm concerned. Yah forbid one of them tries to hurt somebody I love. That fast. Let me reiterate. That fast. You know the hardest part of that situation? Figuring out which piece of heavy equipment we're going to use to dig the hole. That fast. This whole thing is a sham. The circus is on fire. And there's still people sitting in the crowd eating popcorn going, I wonder where the elephants are. When are the elephants going to come? The fucking tent is on fire. Get out. Come out of her, my people, lest you partake of her sins and receive of her plagues. The circus tent is on fire. The elephants aren't coming. And you elected the clowns thinking the clowns run the circus. The clowns don't run the circus. And if you throw out certain clowns and elect other clowns, the clowns don't run the circus. They don't own the circus. They're not the investors in the circus. They get a small portion of the money collected at the ticket counter before you walk in. I like this clown more than that clown. Okay. All right. Sure. The circus tent is on fire. Not everyone believes the new Customs and Border Patrol guidelines will be effective, though. Chad Wolf, Republican, former acting Secretary of Homeland Security, worried, quote, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's too little, too late. Kane Corso, Bear Independent, make sure you call 811 before you dig. Yeah, well, here's the thing. 811 implies that there's subsurface utilities, which implies that there's some type of population density. Negative. We don't have those kind of problems around here. In fact, this is not an exaggeration. On many an occasion, I have told 811 where the subsurface utilities are. Hey, bro, over here, there's a gas line. Over there, there's a water line. Over here, there's fiber. Over there, there's subsurface electrical. Because it's not like it's on the prints anywhere. Well, it should be on the prints. Yeah, there's lots of shit that should be on the prints that isn't on the prints. Research as built. Not as designed, as built. Well, you're supposed to update the prints after you do an as built. Supposed to. Doesn't mean it happens. Guys, I'm perturbed this morning. And I'm perturbed, because of the state of our country. And some days, honestly, it bothers me more than others. Today is one of those days where it bothers me more than other days. And I'm also perturbed, again, being completely honest and frank with you, because I feel specifically targeted by a multi-billion-dollar international organization called Shopify that, for whatever reason, only Refuge Medical. I have that in an email from their trust and safety team. This only applies to Refuge Medical. Why? Because I say shit that people don't want said on the internet? That's discriminatory. Don't I have a right to say whatever I want to say? As an American, fearfully and wonderfully created in the image of my Father, constitutionally protected, God-given right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why? Why does Refuge exist? To save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experience the abundance of his provision and blessing. It exists to equip you, to train you, to help you to preserve your physical life so that you may have a shot at preserving your eternal life. That's why Refuge exists. And a whole bunch of people in the industry hate us for it because we have the audacity to make things here in America. We're unapologetic about making the best kits on planet Earth. We are unapologetic about our faith. Because my God is God, and I know where my blessings come from. And there's a whole bunch of people in the tactical medical industry that can't stand that, and I don't give a shit. By the way, for all my air quote competitors who are listening, I'm a much better ally than enemy. Something you might want to think about. I make a much better friend than an enemy. Because again, you might get me, but I'm taking as many of you assholes with me as I can. Unapologetically. The whole thing's stupid. And why do I even care? Why preserve the company? Because there's 26 families that eat and pay their bills because of that company. Because there's 123 people still alive because of that company. Because 8 babies have been birthed with Refuge birthing buckets. Because I am biblically commanded to leave an inheritance to my children. And because I want to do all of that righteously to the best of my broken ability through a vehicle that allows y'all to be adequately prepared for the bullshit that is coming down the pipe. And somehow that makes me the bad guy. Now, loving Christ is guaranteed to put you at enmity with the world. Tracking, got it, believe it. I get it. But this is the digital equivalent of setting my storehouses of grain on fire. It's an act of war. And it's not much appreciated by me. You know, and one of the 48 laws of power from Robert Greene is never let them see you sweat. Okay. I'm a little sweaty this morning. It'll be all right. But man, what a bunch of bullshit hoops to jump through because somebody somewhere doesn't like Bear from the internet. Absurd. That's fine. I'll sue for $1 billion and win and find a different payment processor while I'm at it and continue to righteously take over the world for the preservation of life. Watch me. Shifting gears, there's a little organization called Caleb House, Caleb with a K.com, CalebHouse.com. JC Fixer, I love you back. Caleb House, for the rescue and more importantly, the restoration of juvenile human trafficking survivors. Now through the 10th of July, 2024, we have donor matching going on up to $250,000. Our draft 4 extrapolated budget puts us $400,000 in the hole just based on OPEX over the next 12 months. Facts. This is an opportunity for us to square the books and go actually into the black. If we can raise $250,000, that'll be matched for $500,000 into the operating account of Caleb House, which sounds like a lot of money. And in some cases, it is a lot of money. But it costs $7 million to build one care facility. It costs $20,000 to $50,000 to do a single extraction. We have teams in the field literally right now for the rescue and restoration of juvenile human trafficking survivors. This is not something we talk about. It is not something we make Instagram and Facebook posts about. It's not something I do interviews about. This is something we do. We do this. And it's a massive burden to bear. So, for those that already support Caleb House, thank you. We literally could not do this without you. For those that feel an urging of the spirit to support Caleb House, please, calebhouse.org. For those that don't, no hard feelings, and I mean that legitimately. I do not want to be working counter to the spirit on anything. And if you're not convicted to pour into what we do, mazel tov. Pour into something else. Rescue puppies. Serve at a soup kitchen. Help single moms. Go serve in your church or your synagogue or your temple. Do something. Something to be the hands and feet of the Most High. For us, one of the ways that we do that is Caleb House, which started as a conviction after a conversation between me and the Father, and has now grown into dozens of people rescued, dozens of convictions, dozens of people on our operational teams and victim services teams and construction teams. The people suffer for a lack of vision. And I don't regret the fact that the Father gave me this vision, but there are days it is easier to carry that burden than others. We can't do it without y'all. We don't do it without y'all, because I will not take a single dime from the government, because I will not adhere to woke ideological bullshit. So now, through July 10th, we have donor matching, calebhouse.org, Caleb with a K, calebhouse.org. The goal is to raise $250,000, which will be matched for a total of $500,000. It'll square our books for the next 12 months. Praise the Most High. That's the goal. It doesn't build the facility. That's ongoing. That has its own associated construction costs. This is operational costs. It'll square our books operationally for the next 12 months, which is another reason why Refuge Medical is important. Y'all will never know. You cannot know all the good works that have been funded out of pocket by Refuge in times of need. And so when you support Refuge, you're not just supporting a tactical medical company. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Copy. But there's been many, many times where one of the 501c3s didn't have the money or the manpower to do what it is that the Father asked us to do. But praise y'all, Refuge did. And so all these entities, while being legally separated and having their own budgets, their own bank accounts, and their own hierarchy and organization and structure, they're institutionally inbred spaghetti, as Monica likes to call it. We're spaghetti, and I'm proud of our damn spaghetti. Weapons Junkie, love you back, bro. I hope I see you at SRF in the fall. We shall see. From RT.com, Russia Today. This is going to be fun and good for everybody. NATO member declares intent to join BRICS. Guess who it is? I'm looking at the chat. Guess. Which NATO member do you think it is that wants to join BRICS? What do you think?
I actually didn't read this. I don't even know.
If you had to guess, NATO country that wants to join Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia. It's not France. It's not Italy. It's not Germany.
The Turks.
It's the Turks. Comfortably numb. Turkey. Yep. Turkey. Because they're awesome allies. They're great. I freaking love them. They're the best. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan has stated that Ankara intends to discuss the issue during an upcoming meeting in Russia. Okay, cool. Yeah, you might not have noticed, but totally not World War III with Russia is ongoing right now. So it's fine. We'll send the Turks in there.
World War III is so soft. It's like it's downfilled. It's
Bro, the technology has made World War III so gay. Like, this is so gay. If we could go back to like waxed cotton web gear and M1 Garand's, you know, Browning automatic rifles, 1919s, Mod Deuces, like, it's so gay. Like, did you see, what is it, London? The largest hospital system in Great Britain has now been hacked, and they're estimating 3 to 4 months before they get everything back up and running again. Dude, it's this digital asymmetric warfare bullshit. It's so gay. By the way, I have a question. I don't have an answer to this question. But as drone technology increases, by the way, where do the Shahed drones come from? Do you know? Iran. Okay. So the Shahed drones come from Iran. What's Iran been doing lately that's making everybody frowny face? Well, not only funding the Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, which, by the way, we need to just start an H-named organization because Iran will fund it. We're the Houthi and the Blowfishes now, and they will all the way fund it. Homestead Medical, bless you, bro. Iran, the Shahed drone. Iran, spinning up their nuclear enrichment program. How soon? Now, the Shahed drone is a piece of shit. It's like a Nissan B2000 pickup truck. It'll run, it'll get you there, but it ain't pretty, right? It's loud, it's slow, but it works. But how long before we put nuclear weapons on drones? Has anybody thought about that?
2 decades ago.
Like 2 decades ago? You thought about it, or we did it 2 decades ago?
We had to have done it already.
Well, I bet we did,
Yeah.
because we've done everything. By the way, shout out to Habitual Line Crosser. If you don't follow Habitual Line Crosser on YouTube, you should. If you're afraid of 4-letter words, maybe, take an ibuprofen beforehand. But yeah, Habitual Line Crosser, what's up? Of course we did it because we're us. But how long before anybody else does it? Like, oh, let's put a nuclear weapon on a drone. It's ridiculous.
Wasn't there a recent article that Iran's nuclear arsenal was 60 times bigger than what the Obama court allowed? Yeah.
Well, and so the Iran nuclear deal, Trump pulled out of it. So now Russia, China, and somebody else, forgive me, that we're like not exactly friendly with, is now they've issued a joint statement saying that the U.S. needs to re-enter this Iran nuclear deal for basically the sake of world peace or whatever. It's like, dude, shut up. As if Russia, Iran, and China aren't all friends anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever. Okay. So Turkey wants to join BRICS. Turkey will seek to join BRICS group of nations and intends to bring up the issue at an upcoming meeting of the economic bloc's foreign minister in Russia, Ankara's chief diplomat Hakan Fidan announced on Tuesday. Speaking to reporters while on a 3-day visit to China, the dude from Turkey has long been waiting to become a member of the European Union, but has for years faced opposition from some of that bloc's members. In this context, Ankara is now considering BRICS as an alternative platform for integration, the minister explained. Quote, "We cannot ignore the fact that BRICS is, as an important cooperation platform, offers some other countries a good alternative," end quote. Fidan said, noting that while the group still has a long way to go, Ankara sees the potential in BRICS. During an event at the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing, the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing, Fidan, the dude from Turkey, said he was looking forward to attending the meeting of the group's foreign ministers, which will include representatives from Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. The event is set to take place next week in the Russian city of Nizhny Novgorod, which, by the way, if I'm just spitballing here. If we have any nukes on drones, Nizhny Novgorod seems like a pretty good place to test them out. Tomer Klein, I was in Israel when the Iranian drones and missiles were sent. Only 6 out of 300 to 350 landed. That says everything. Yeah, I'm not saying the shaheeds are good. I'm just saying that they exist. Yeah, 100%. Also, thanks for the $26. Badger's saying no F-bombs in the chat. Yeah. If it's a word I say on camera, you could say it in the chat. If it's a word I don't say on camera, you can't say it in the chat. That's Dad's rules. It's as simple as that. If you don't like it, beat feet. Moscow has welcomed Ankara's interest in joining BRICS. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has stated that the topic of Turkey's membership in the group will be featured on the agenda of next week's summit, which this year is being chaired by Russia. Oh, perfect. Peskov noted, however, that the economic bloc may not be able to fully satisfy the interests of all of the numerous countries that have expressed a desire to join BRICS. Nevertheless, he stated that, quote, such an active interest, end quote, is welcomed, and that the group will do everything within its power to maintain contact with all interested nations. Last week, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov also noted that the doors of BRICS are open to the representatives of the most diverse economic and political systems and macro regions. The only condition to join is a commitment to work on the basis of the key principle of sovereign equality of states, something Russia's Western colleagues appear to be struggling with, Lavrov commented. So this is going to be fun. And the last article that I wanted to look at today, it comes from the New York Post, because Babylonian rectangles of death. Here's a fun article. You ready for a good little laugh, or maybe you just want to shake your head? Remote Amazon tribe finally connects to internet, only to wind up hooked on porn and social media. That's the actual headline. I can't say I'm surprised, honestly. A reclusive tribe in Amazon finally got hooked up to the internet thanks to Elon Musk, only to be torn apart by social media and pornography addiction, the elders have complained. Brazil's 2,000-member Marubu tribe has been left bitterly divided by the arrival of Tesla's founder's Starlink service 9 months ago, which connected the remote rainforest community along the Itoi River to the web for the first time. When it arrived, everyone was happy, Sainama Marubo, 73, told the New York Times. But now things have gotten worse. Young people have gotten lazy because of the internet. They're learning the ways of the white people, end quote. I'm not making this shit up. In fact, hold on, copy paste. I'm gonna put the article. Hey, it's Bob from the internet. Dude, damn Amazonian porn. Are they consuming it or producing it is what I want to know. Because like one of the dudes in this picture literally has a bone through his nostrils. So I'm whoa, I'm positive that somebody out there is into that. The Marubu are a chaste tribe who even frown upon kissing in public. But Alfred Marubu, all Marubu use the same last name, that's convenient, said he is anxious that the arrival of the service, which delivers super fast internet to far-flung corners of the planet and has been billed as a game changer by Musk, could upend the standards of decorum. Alfred said many young Marubu men have been sharing porn videos in group chats, and he has already observed more aggressive sexual behavior in some of them. Quote, we're worried young people are going to want to try it, end quote, he said of the kinky sex acts they've suddenly been exposed to on screen. Everyone is so connected that sometimes they don't even talk to their own family. And then the article goes on from there. You can read the rest of it for yourself. I put the link in the chat. So
we should run a psyop and hack their phones and put the gospel on them.
I would love to. Just the Bible app. Could we just get them the Bible app?
And just every hour send a notification of a different verse from Messiah.
That's phenomenal.
Just DNS poison it. Every site just goes to everything just goes.
Immediate reroute.
I wouldn't know anybody who could do that. So this is just a pipe dream. All right, guys, that's the show for today. If you have given up pornography and social media and need something better to do, or even if you're struggling with that, being perfectly frank, we give away Bibles for free at grindstoneministries.com. You can buy one at our cost, or I will send you one for free. grindstoneministries.com. Link is in the description. What's that? You can also buy one to donate, I'm being told from across the room. This is always good when I have this council of professionals around me, because they police my speech in real time appropriately, unlike social media that polices my speech inappropriately. Look at that. You start talking about the Bible and 100 people drop off the live stream.
See ya.
Messiah's going to get y'all sooner or later. If it ain't in this life, it'll be in the next. Something you want to think about. Dana Geyer, great show. Bless you, sister. What? You good?
If he tags you in the next live, might not feel so great.
Yeah, if he gets you in the next one, it's not nearly as fulfilling as if he gets you in this one.
My brothers and sisters, we're already dead. It's whether you know it.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, guys, I think I've beaten the Refuge medical horse to death today. Reminder, Caleb House, donor matching now through the 10th of July. Bibles at grindstoneministries.com. Links are in the description, and you'll also find links to everything at bearindependent.com. Glock 316, you are in rare form today. Bro, I'm fired up. I am fired up. I am pissed off. Being dead frank. In the junior exec chat yesterday, I said these assholes don't know me, and they don't know my father. And I will pivot so hard that I break a hip, but you cannot keep me down. And that's a fact. So
yeah, I actually laughed out loud when I read that. I was like, oh man, we're like at full spice.
Oh,
like, I could feel it.
You haven't even seen full spice yet. I got a lot of phone calls to make today. If I get on the phone, there's a problem. Facts. There's like 3 or 4 other layers of people who can be on the phone. If I get on the phone, there's a problem. It's turbo time. Bear, I love it when you get bitchy and wild. Thanks. I appreciate y'all. Lay waste sooner, Bear. I'm writing that on my notepad. Lay waste. Perfect. That might be a t-shirt by this afternoon. Let's talk to the Father. Oh, good morning, Father Yah. Father, thank you for being sovereign over all things. And Father, I pray that you'd be indwelt in these situations today, that we would operate justly and morally, that we would operate in a way that brings glory to you, Father, but that we would not submit to any unrighteous authorities. Father, we know that all things work together for your good, and so I'm asking you today to work, not only for us and our organizations, but for everybody within the sound of my voice, Father. This world is so messed up, and yet somehow you find a way to redeem us out of it, and that is beautiful and wonderful, and I thank you for that. Father, thank you for the covering of blood of Messiah, that we might be made new, born again, that the old man might die. And so, Father, please let us today not dredge up the old man, even if the situation seems like it dictates it. Father, thank you. Thank you for all the little things that we take for granted. Thank you for being manifested in so many different ways that it becomes obvious of who you are and that you are. Father, please give us strength and power and authority in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach to be your hands and feet. Father, please pour out your spirit on all flesh for wisdom and discernment. Put us where you need us. Give us the words that we need to speak. Let us be a light unto all peoples. And Father, convict us to walk righteously in the model of Messiah. And give us peace that surpasses all understanding, that even as this freaking world continues to spin out of control, that you are sovereign over all things, and that simply you are. You are the I am. That you exist. Father, thank you. Thank you for all the things that seem like trials, for the proving of our faith. Father, please today put a hedge of protection around these people. Let no weapon formed against us prosper, and if there's anything within the sound of my voice that is not of you, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Father, I lift all these people up to you. I lay them at your feet and ask that you would please protect them today, provide for them today, and bless them today. In Yeshua's name, amen. It's just a matter of time, I'm positive, before you get an update from me on all these things that we got going on. In the meanwhile, I really, really appreciate your support. Please share the show. Please evangelize about Caleb House and about Grindstone and about Refuge, because we cannot do this without you. And I will be on this side of the camera laying waste to the best of my ability this unrighteous bullshit. And I hope that you will be doing the same on your side of the camera. And I will see you when I see you. Shalom.